story, a legend about Jesus' life and death here on earth and how 3 trees may have played a part in that story. As you listen, think about how God might use you in an unexpected way for his glory. And now we present to you the legend of the 3 trees, based on the writings of Russell Arvin Fox.
Once upon a time, 3 trees lived in a forest, high on a mountainside, dreaming of what they would be when they were grown.
The first tree looked up at the stars, twinkling like diamonds in the night sky.
I want to hold treasure. I want to be decorated with jewels and filled with gold.
The second little tree looked down the mountainside at the ocean far below. I want to be a strong sailing ship. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world.
The third little tree said,
I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all. I want to grow so tall that when people stop to look at me, their eyes will raise toward heaven and they will think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world.
Proverbs 16, verse 9, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps.
Years passed, and the trees grew. Then one day, 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain.
The fourth woodcutter looked up at the tree and said, This tree is beautiful. It's perfect for me. With a dozen swoops of his axe, the fourth tree fell. Now I shall be made into beautiful church chests. I shall be decorated with jewels and hold marvelous treasure. Another woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, This tree is strong and is fit for me. With a dozen swoops of his axe, the second tree fell.
Now I shall sail mighty waters and carry powerful kings.
The third little tree's heart dropped as the last woodcutter approached it. It stood straight and tall and pointed greenly towards heaven. The last woodcutter never even looked up.
Any kind of tree will do for me.
With a dozen swoops of his axe, the third tree fell.
The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter took it to a carpenter shop. But the carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, he cut and carved the tree into a simple feed box. The once beautiful tree was not decorated with jewels or filled with gold. It was covered in dust and filled with hay to feed hungry farm animals. The second tree rejoiced when the woodcutter took it to a shipyard. But the shipbuilder was not thinking about mighty sailing ships. Instead, he hammered and sawed the tree into a simple fishing boat. The one strong tree was too weak to sail the ocean. Instead, it was taken to a little lake where every day it carried loads of dead, smelly fish.
The third little tree was confused when the woodcutter took it to a lumberyard. There it was cut into strong beams, then left alone.
What happened? All I ever wanted to do was stand on the mountaintop, grow tall, and make people think of God.
Years passed, and the trees nearly forgot their dreams.
Jeremiah 29, verse 11, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
In one still and silent night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed a newborn baby into the feed box.
I wish I could make a cradle for him, whispered the husband.
She squeezed his hand and smiled as starlight shone on the clean and shining wood. This manger is beautiful, she said.
And suddenly, the first tree knew that he was holding the greatest treasure in the world.
Luke 1, verse 7, and she gave birth to her first son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
And then, one humid and cloudy day, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the small fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree sailed quietly out onto the lake.
Then a thundering storm arose, and the second tree shuddered, knowing that it did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through the fierce
wind and rain.
The traveler awoke. He stood up, stretched out his hand, and said with a strong voice, "Peace, be still." The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun.
And suddenly, the second she knew, it was carrying the King of the heavens and the earth.
Matthew 8:27. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him."
The third tree was startled as its beams were yanked from the old lumber yard. It flinched as it was carried through an angry, jeering, spinning crowd. It shuddered as man's soldiers nailed a man's hands and feet to her. She groaned as a man cried out in agony and died. It felt ugly and harsh and cruel.
But at dawn the next Sunday, on the first Easter morning, the earth trembled with joy beneath the third tree, and it knew that God's love had changed everything.
1 Corinthians 1:18. For the message of the cross is foolishness to those that are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God.
God's love had made the first little tree into a beautiful treasure chest. He had made the second little tree into a strong sailing ship. And whenever people looked upon the third little tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the strongest tree, the tallest tree in the world.